Hi there, Steve here again. I had a request for Wholehearted by Extreme, and there were some provisions to this request. First of all, it was requested that I do it on an acoustic six-string guitar, so it was easier for the person to follow. And the second thing was just to do it in standard tuning versus half-step tuning. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you how to do this. If you want to play along with the song, you could tune down a half-step, and you would be in tune with Extreme. If you have a 12-string, you could certainly use that, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a 6-string guitar. Now, first of all, the thing about Extreme, the thing about Wholehearted is that it's very funky, so it requires a lot of rhythm groove. And again, if you've never seen some of my other videos, you can always go back and watch some of my other instructional videos that talk about rhythm and strumming and all that sort of thing, but this song is chock full of it. So remember, if you have any questions or anything like that, you got some requests for songs, just click on the link and I'd be more than happy to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you the beginning of this. So let's talk about that part right away. So the beginning of the song is starting off with a D, and what you're doing is you're strumming that D and then you're moving it up 2 frets higher. So you really want to focus on just strumming the bottom 4 strings. Okay? Now, what I want you to understand is the pulse of the song, where the essential strumming points are. And then what you'll do is you'll add in the strumming to that, the additional strumming that happens in between there. But the first thing to do is just set yourself up with understanding where you move and where those essential strumming points or pulses are supposed to be. So with this song, let me do that again. So you hear a bum, bum, bum kind of thing. Now you'll notice I'm adding stuff in between there because it just sounds a lot cooler. But it takes time to learn how to do all that kind of funky strumming stuff. So again, give yourself a break. You know, if you've never done this sort of thing before, start learning initially where the pulses are. And as you get more comfortable, learn how to groove to a song. You know, I've always said to my students, the hardest thing to teach people how to do is to truly groove with an instrument. You can teach scales and speed picking patterns and all kinds of different things. It just takes time. But groove is something that you have to feel. And so, you know, I'm not downing any of those things. I do all of that stuff and I love it all. But learning how to play an effective groove is just essential to making music sound interesting and to make it sound like something somebody would want to listen to. So we've got our D moving to an E by moving it up 2 frets here. You do that twice. We're going to do it again. Now right here, I'm going to go like this. So I'm plucking the first string, then the second string, then the third string. Then I'm going to head right back. Only this time I'm going to start strumming a little bit more. Then I'm going to go back and do it again. Only this time I'm going to go from the 2nd fret right here to the 4th fret to the 5th fret. So it's going to sound like this. So 2, 4, 5. So as I'm strumming it, you'll notice I'm strumming this one with a down because my rhythm, my whole entire song is based off this right here. So if you think about it, my chord changes would be 2, 4, 5. If I break that down, 2, 4, 5, even slower. 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. One more time, 2, 4, 5. So you'll notice the 2 is on a down, the 4 is on an up, and the 5 is on a down. To give it again that rhythm. Now again, the hardest thing is to not go, you know what I mean? You want to keep that flow going the entire time. Because then you can add everything else in between there. But the pulse would be right there. Okay, so putting those two pieces together. And here we go. Then we get into this part. Okay, now this is really tricky. It's again extremely funky, as extreme is. So what you're doing is you're starting off on the 5th fret of the 4th string. You're going to press your first finger on that, and then you're going to go to the 7th fret of the 4th string with your ring finger. So you're going to pluck the 5th string and the 4th string together on the 5th fret here, and you're going to do a hammer on to the 7th fret. Then you're going to strum it twice more. If you watch my strumming, I have bump, ba-dump, so it's down, down, up, because I have a hammer on in between. Okay. Okay, so now speeding it up a little bit. Okay, so what's happening there is after I strum the 2, there's a little pause, a 1-beat pause, or 1 strum pause, I should say. And then I come back for 2 more strums. So again, if I slow it down and look at it, dun, 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 dun. What I'm really doing is going down, down, up, down. That one in between is the one I'm skipping. See? Then I use my hand every once in a while, I'll slap with my wrist to kind of stop the strings to get more of a funky sound as well. See that? That way I get a stop in between there. The strings don't just continue ringing out. My left hand doesn't do the work. My right hand is doing that work. So again, each piece, you just take them individually and you just keep trying to build them up. Now, once you get done with that, you're going to do a pull-off. You're going to do from 7 to 5 to 0. So you're going to pluck the 7th fret, you're going to do a pull-off to 5, you're going to do a pull-off to 0. And remember, pull-offs, you're literally flicking the string like your finger is the guitar pick. You're not just lifting them up, but you're literally flicking it. So you're getting a lot of volume off of it. Now when I do that, I'm going to pluck the 5th string along with it, so they're both ringing out. And then I'm going to go down here to the 3rd fret of the 5th string, okay? And I'm going to pluck that with my middle finger. And I'm going to go to an A chord, but instead of going to A like this with 3 fingers, I'm going to go to it as a power chord form, which is done by taking my first finger and pressing on all those strings. I'm pressing on the 2nd fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Okay? So I'm going, which you've heard, I'm sure, in a lot of rock and roll songs. So I've got... Okay, so you're trying to develop each piece individually. Okay, so again, the great thing about video is that you can stop this at any time and just keep developing each part as you go. So now we've got... Do it again. And we go back, we pick each string. Go back, do it again. But this time we're going to add some more strumming. Here comes our other one. Remember, that's where you're going down, up, down. Add some more strumming. And here we go. So that's that lick. Okay, so you got to pull off, and then while you're in the air, you're going to head down to that 3, and then down to that A. And remember, the A chord, what you're doing is strumming 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, and maybe the 2nd string. If you don't get that far, don't worry about it. But you really do need the 5th string in there too. So if you can see that from my picking hand over here, I'm going from this note, 5th string, and then strumming. Okay? Then I'm going to head up. Now, again, I'm going to just kind of try and show you how to get the sound most effective, okay? Now there's a million different ways that you could play this. If you look up the tab for this thing, you're going to see, or watch a bunch of different videos, you're going to see everybody plays it a little bit differently. I want you to get the gist of what's happening here to get that groove going. Now again, if you watch my strumming hand, you'll notice it doesn't stop. I'm not starting and stopping. What makes this hard is you're going to do the lick, but then you're going to scratch the strings in between, like that. So what we're doing is we're going to the 5th fret of the 2nd and 3rd strings. I'm pushing over those with my first finger. And then I'm going to do a hammer-on to the 6th fret of the 3rd string. Okay? And then after I do that, I got 2 scratches. So what I'm doing is I'm touching the strings and deadening them. Now, I've seen people do this before. If you'd rather do this, they'll go to the 7th fret of the 4th string and they'll pluck that twice palm muted. Okay? Whatever's more comfortable for you. Again, the point isn't those little things that are in between there. If all you do is get hung up on all of those, it's hard to see the bigger picture. And don't get me wrong, all of it is important. But being able to play the song is important, in my opinion. It's what's going to keep you elevated and keep you wanting to practice is progress. So once you kind of figure out the groove of something, you can keep developing it and deciding how you want to play something or if you want to change something about it. So what I'm doing is I'm going that hammer-on, then I'm either doing 2 scratches or 2 palm mutes. Okay? Here's the key, though. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go to the 7th fret of the 2nd and 3rd strings. I'm basically staying on those same 2 strings over and over and over. So I'm going there with my 3rd finger. I'm pressing on both those strings at the same time. And then I'm going back to the hammer-on again. So I have... Now, again, it sounds interesting because rhythmically, it sounds kind of funky, but you're really just doing the same thing 3 times in a row. So let me put it in context here so you can hear it. So you're starting and ending with that. Okay, so here it is again. And if you want to add those palm mutes, I just think they get kind of in the way of the groove of the song. But again, it doesn't matter, whatever works for you. Okay, now you're going to go back and you're going to do this lick again. But instead of going to an A chord, you're going to go to a D chord. So you're going to go. So you're heading over to that D chord. So. Kind of quick. You got to be kind of quick to get off that 3 and get right over there. Okay. So I'm going to play that whole little sequence, not the intro, but this little middle riff here, nice and slow, so you can hear it in its entirety. Then you go back. Okay. Now again, if you're confused, you go back, you watch it, and stop the video, and just keep building it.